Last time I did what I liked about anime, but this time I'm going to talk about my favorite genre, mecha. Let's get to it.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Before I can dive into why this genre rules, let's do a definition check. Yo Wikipedia, what you got?
The term mecha may refer to both scientific ideas in science fiction genres that center on giant robots or machines, mechs, controlled by people.
And sometimes that's all there is to it. Giant robots socking each other in the face with tiny flesh bags inside of them. But sometimes the mecha genre can go beyond this simple premise and tell a complex story with compelling plot and charismatic characters, with giant robots. Now there are two different subgenres in mecha, real robots and super robots. To explain what the super robot subgenre is, let's take a quick trip down memory lane with a young turtle. Now, who doesn't know the Power Rangers? A force of spunky teenagers recruited by some alien organization, old dude hamster? To fight the big baddie that came every week only to blow them up to smithereens. And the other series that showed everyone that there's more than meets the eye, Mother Truckin' Transformers. G1, of course. Now, these two series aren't really anime, but they kind of are. Now, Power Rangers in the US is derived from the Japanese series Super Sentai, and Transformers also originates from Japan. So I was a goddamn weeb when I was still young enough to pee my bed. That's dedication. But it was these shows that introduced me to the genre without me even knowing it. For the case of Power Rangers, how freaking cool is it to have 5 smaller robots combined to a bigger bad robot? Yes, the fistfights were kinda cool and the team finishers were nice, but the robot fight at the end though? That's what kept me watching an episode. And that led me to always check the toy aisle and Target for the newest Megazord. It was simple but effective marketing strategy to all 7-year-olds. I can confirm this. Transformers was also cheesy at times, but there was a lot of background and plot beneath the surface. The lore behind the Autobots and Decepticons and their history before crash landing on Earth was actually pretty intense. Topped us off with the ability to turn to a car, or a plane, or a boombox with your friend's latest mix from SoundCloud, and it led to a good show. But how does this explain what Super Robot is? Well, it's this cliche writing style of good versus evil, and the focus on the battles that can clearly depict Super Robot style. It's about as raw mecha as you can get. Calling out your finishing move, the power of combining, and fighting for your nakama makes Super Robots basically the shonen of mecha. Two animes that come to mind here are Gurren Lagann and SSSS.Gridman. Gurren Lagann is known for throwing logic right out the window and showing the world the power of guts, and believing in other people who believe in other people in order for them to believe in a person. They got sick-ass finishers. They got combining. And they got the spirit of camaraderie. They got it all, baby, with a drill that will pierce the heavens. Now, SSSS.Gridman is a series that would look very familiar to Japanese viewers, but it holds a dear place in my heart because of this show.
Khan lives inside computer circuits. With the help of Malcolm Frink, he creates megavirus monsters to attack electronic systems. Meanwhile, a freak accident turns Sam Collins into Servo. His friends join forces in their samurais attack vehicles. Together, they transform into the superhuman samurai Syber-Squad.
That's right, while you babies were watching dumb Rugrats, I was studying the Blade with Superhuman Cyber Samurai Squad, which eventually introduced me to the Gridman and Ultraman series from Japan. This anime is an ode to these titans in the super robot genre, remade with the production value of today. It's the simplicity that builds the heart of these two anime, but they actually explore some deeper and darker themes that one wouldn't expect. A lot of the characters deal with depression and suicide. They deal with loss of identity. And they deal with the degradation of one's own reality. These complexities are what grounds these Super Robot series and makes them mean a little bit more, a little more than your average Monster of the Week TV show. They get you in with their pure motives of characters, but they make you feel more with the addition of these somber motifs. And okay, you might be thinking, so what? It's just metal hitting metal with people screaming and crying? Mecha ain't shit. I'd rather watch ReZero for the 14th time so I can cream over how good a character Rem is. But who's Rem? Ram's actually top waifu, by the way. Okay, I get it. You want more oomph. You want to work your brain a little harder than young turtles smacking toys together in the bathtub. Well, this is where our other subgenre, real robots, shines. So there's no way I could talk about the real robot trope without talking about the mobile suit in the room.
Oh my.
Gundam is the reigning king of this genre, just passing its 40-year-old mark as a brand. The original Mobile Suit Gundam was the first series to heavily focus on the emotional weight and physical consequences of war, but with giant robots. Sorry, I always get carried away with how cool the idea of giant robots are. However, this drastic change from the Super Robot formula wasn't really well received, as Mobile Suit Gundam was actually almost cancelled at one point during its original run. But eventually came around thanks to the power of plastic crack, and now is a legend in anime standards. And this growth eventually led to us wee laddies in America to get a taste of Mecha.
And their legendary mobile suits called Gundams.
As I mentioned before, Gundam dealt with the severity and consequences of war and politics, using Mecha as a medium to elevate the stakes and enriching the universe. And slaps! Gundam dealt lots of slaps. Damn, Captain Bright, chill. Honestly though, why do these shows always shove a young kid inside of a cockpit of an 18-meter death machine? That's 60 feet to us important people. And while I'm at it, how come all these mobile suits have Xbox Live All Chat enabled? How come I can hear this whiny kid talk about why he doesn't want to fight anymore? I'd rather him talk about my mom like the good old days. Anyways, Gundam has a really good handle on making the viewer question the belief systems of the protagonists and antagonists. They're really good at asking, were the bad guys really that bad? Multiple Gundam series always has the heroes wondering if fighting is the only way to peace. And it's a good question, is it? It's these questions and justifications that really sell the idea that a robot show can do more and be more.
What have I done?
But enough about Gundam. They ain't the only cowboys in this rodeo. But enough about Gundam. They ain't the only rodeo. They ain't the only rodeo. Yeah, there's only one rodeo. But enough about Gundam. They ain't But enough about Gundam. Oh, you kind of rolled there. But enough about Gundam. They ain't the only cowboys in this rodeo. Neon Genesis Evangelion and Code Geass are among the most popular series in anime as a whole, and these mecha anime get a lot more complicated. NGE is known for being very dark and lore intensive. With several nods to biblical entries and terms, the writers really wanted the viewers to think and theorize about everything in the series on a deeper literary level. Where were the humans fighting the angels? What even are EVA units? And who had the right to decide the correct path for humanity? It also gave us this scene. This shit was whack. NGE, to my somewhat dismay, also leaves a lot of these things open-ended, which force viewers to decipher and understand key concepts like the Human Instrumentality Project, among other important details. But hey, it's still got giant robot fights, which are probably the simplest things to understand in all of NGE. Now, Code Geass combines superpowers, 5D chess, and a spinning kick that would make Beyblades jealous to create one of the most memorable and satisfying endings in all of anime. Seriously though, with all of these newer airing shows coming out with a Season 1, a Season 2, OVAs, movies, I really miss when shows ended, in a good way. But this anime, this one right here, is my top favorite anime of all time, and I'll probably make a top 10 list down the line. But I'll get to that later. Why is Code Geass good? It's intense, it's got great mecha designs, it's got an amazing plot with interesting characters, and this guy. But It's the best anime to me at least because of our main mad lad Lulu. I really love following his goals to right the evils of his world. I love following his entire thought process in every battle. I love seeing his good nature being slowly twisted by the horrors of death and the selfishness of others. And I love the giant freaking robots! I just love it all to pieces. Watching Lelouch's journey inside and out really shows all the spectrums of his character, and we as the audience can see all his faults through and through, along with his allies and his enemies. And this deeper understanding of the character is just what makes the real robot trope so real. Okay, now forget about that mushy-wishy, "Wah, my mom died" crap. Let me just gush about how cool Mecha is. Now look at these designs. Like, holy moly, is Gundam not one of the most iconic things in all of anime? Just look at the V-fin and the face vents and you instantly know what it is. And then, when a mech has an alt mode, oh my god. It turns into a plane or a wolf tiger thingy. Oh my god. Amazing. Fantastic. Just perfecto. Mwah. But wait. Why transform into a tiger wolf thing when you can just be one? Boom. Zoids. And they have 7 different versions for the Liger. Like, what? Just innovation at its prime. And then there's mechs for racing, mechs for surfing, mechs for disabled people, mechs for this guy. Like, mecha is just so damn fun. The mecha genre, at least to me, means so much more than I realized. It basically influenced me into who I am today as someone working in the tech industry. And the community is still going strong, despite only getting a handful of recent mecha anime releases in the last few years. Even though we're down, we're still not out. I personally just hope one day I'll actually be able to see this big beauty move.